Hello and welcome again. This is What Is Story Say? How was your week? I'm Dr. Pauline Baird, cultural bearer from the village of Buxton, Guyana, and I tell our stories, our family histories, or whispered stories, or long lost and sometimes forgotten traditions. And like we say on this program, What Is Story Say? Are you coming? Are you sit down? It is lovely outside, and I have another plant here. I bought this plant like years ago, maybe 6 years ago or so, and it's still going. Yeah, I like it. So this is what's going on. If you check my live today, you would have seen me in the garden, winding down the garden for winter, making my compost and things like that. And for many of you who are here for the first time and you ask where I am in Japan. I'm one of the Guyanese living and working in Japan. I teach junior engineers, and I am a cultural bearer. I like to tell stories of our Guyanese culture. Guyanese in the house. Where you there? Where you there? Where you there? My cousin sent me this nice purse, this Bertadine. I got my markers inside. Today I'm going to be examining a piece of literature that I studied in school when I was in second form. So let's dig into it. Let's talk about village occupations. There are several occupations that people hold in the village. Some people, when I was growing up, fixed umbrella, fixed radios, or fixed shoes. You had people who sewed clothes, the seamstresses, Miss Doreen, and so on. And there were the women who washed clothes. We're going to talk about The Washerwoman by Samuel Selvon. And Samuel Selvon is a Trinidadian. Selvon was born in 1923, died in 1994, according to Google. Yes. So, the village washer is set in Trinidad and Tobago, in the village of Sans Souci. Sans Souci, alliteration, soft, beautiful. I imagine an idyllic kind of a rustic lifestyle. It was country. They call it a hamlet, a sugarcane hamlet, with lots of people. And it was 30 odd miles from the port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago. And there were people living there. Salt of the earth, down to earth people, cane cutters to be precise, and their families. So the story begins. Setting. Shortly after the last war, the laundry situation took a turn for the worse in the village of Sans Souci. Here, Malami ruled supreme as the only washer in the district, and in her sole supremacy, she grew careless after she had established herself. Since this is a statement there. There's this lady called Malami. She ruled supreme. She lost her thing. She grew careless. After she had established herself. So, I gather Malami was a serious personality. She had established herself. Nobody gave her this job. She made this job. See? And why wouldn't she? Let's look at her. Malami was old and black and possessed remarkable strength. I can imagine her being strong, like my great-aunt, Aunt Ivy. Yes, they used to call her Man Ivy. Listen, they don't make them like that anymore. They come strong. Yes, that was Malami. With the declaration of war, she began to be neglectful of collars and sleeves and folds and bottoms of trousers, which places people always look to judge her workmanship. Of course, if you send your clothes out, you want to see the armpit still get curry. You want to see the collar, if you know, the potato bank thing just on there, and things like that. So they were looking. If a button broke off or came off as she scrubbed the clothes with corn husk, she no longer bothered to mend it. Malami getting slack. If a thin shirt was ripped when she was scrubbing, oh no, she would tell the people, this tear been right here when you give me. Before she used to mend it, but not now. She swore the tear was there. There was a time when she used 4 bars of soap. If the dirt and perspiration were stubborn, she'd get some washing soda. And she did her best to make the clothes look clean again. And was a time when she used 6 buckets of water, but now she's using 2, not even 4, 2. Malami gets slack. She laughs, she touches. Was it because she was getting old? You know, there's a thing about women back in the day, black women back in the day, and other women, maybe East Indian women, as they got old, they continued to work just as hard as they were in their earlier years. There's something that doesn't sit right with me. So she was getting complacent. But was it because of old age? Well, according to this story, it seems like a little bit of arrogance, and it could be a bit of both. So here we go. What were Malambi's tools of trade? When I was growing up, people used to wash and starch, and when after they starched the clothes in cassava starch, and they would sprinkle the clothes. My great aunt and my aunties used to sprinkle clothes every week. They got these baskets of clothing, and if they taken in, you know, clothes to launder, they got to iron. So they would sprinkle the water, and they get the cloth. So like this, they would get the cloth here, and they would get the water, and they take the water like so. Let me show you all young people who don't know to sprinkle. That you take your thing and carry to the laundromat, they must sprinkle it so. And then after you sprinkle the water, you do it so. You fold up the clothes like this. And you put it in a nice corner, and all the clothes, light colors, do like that. You sprinkle it and you set it there to iron. It's iron smooth because you get steam. Now, I see one of my cousins that's put, especially linen, they put it in the fridge in a plastic bag in a Ziploc. You sprinkle it and you put it in a Ziploc in the fridge. When you see one iron the thing, smooth. Malambi used to also iron the clothes. She had 4 flat irons. For those of you who don't know, we used to call them coal pot irons. I will try to see if I can find a flat iron to put up here in this video. Coal pot iron. You put it in a coal pot. That's when we had the cast iron coal pot with wood fire and coals, and we put it on top. For the young ones that has listened to this, you're lucky. This thing was cast iron. You can't touch it with your hand. You used to get a piece of cloth like so, and you take this cloth. I don't have anything I can mimic a coal pot, but imagine this is the flat iron. You got to take the cloth. I should have gotten my iron from downstairs, and you put it here and you hold the iron, and so you got an iron cloth. You got a second piece of cloth, and it's a rag, and you would wipe the iron so that no black stuff on it, you know, no kind of extraneous material. And you had iron rags, an iron bed. You had a certain set of flour bag that used to make the iron bed, plus crocodile bag to make the base. It says here, Malami had 4 such irons, which she heated in the coal pot, wrapping a piece of cloth around the handle to protect her hand as she pressed the clothes. Mind you, you don't sit down to press clothes, you got to stand up and press clothes. So, and a good job she did until the war started. So we could see Sanssouci village, with its soft sound, had a rhythm. It had a rhythm, but there came an intruder. The war. The war came. And this word, the war, occurs throughout this story. It's like a motif, recurring. And you see, Malami was a good woman till war changed Malami. You see, disruption in the world that disrupt the poor people in the village. When them people over yonder start for fight and catch them cold, we bottom them in the Caribbean and in the village, they'll start for sneeze. That what happened to Malami. So, she did a good job. Then, in this wartime, she bought half the amount of coals and stopped greasing the irons. This is the secret. If you want your irons to work well and not rust, you have to grease them with beef fat, called the tallow. You gotta go to slaughterhouse or beg a butcher for a piece of beef fat. And my grandmother used to hang it up on a hook, a metal hook in the kitchen, right where she just hang the basket with the fry fish from the cat. Yes, in the kitchen you used to get a long hook. So, metal hook, and they grease the hook so no cockroach, no ants ain't coming down the hook into the basket where she get the fry fish and the cassava bread and so. So she used to hang this beef fat there, or they get another place where they hang it by the fireside. And when you're ready to iron, and the iron, you finish iron and everything to prepare the iron for the next use, you grease it up with the fat. When the iron's still a little bit warm, you rub it good and it black and it shine. And it's in good condition for the next time. So you put it on the fire next time, the fat going and so you wipe it good, right? Good ironing. So, and mind you, when you finish iron, you can't put your hand in water because you're going to get, you guys know, big hand. Your hand will swell up, they call it big hand. So, she stopped greasing the irons with lard. Lard is the same fat. When they were not in use. When she was ironing, she would just slide the iron around really quickly, fold the clothes flat, put them in a wooden tray, put them on her head, walked around the village every Saturday to deliver the laundry. However, Malambi's excuse was there was a war. And the people didn't stop complaining. They would say, hey, you know, this clothes not too good. There were about 40 people living in and near the cane fields where they worked cutting canes to be transported to sugar mills 2 miles away. Now, when you're a cane cutter, it's a dirty job, right? You cut cane, your fingers get black, they have to burn the cane to harvest it and transport it. It's messy, messy work. So they sweat and they're dirty and the collars get dirty, the armpits get dirty, the bottom of the pants get dirty. So they wanted a clean job. Malami was not concerned. Of the 40 people who lived there, 10 of them say, you know what? I pass. I don't want you to wash my clothes anymore. But the rest of them really depended on Malami because they were hard-working people. You know what it is to come home after a hard day of cutting cane when your hands are swollen and you have to wash your own clothes? And little children who watching me, it's not like nowadays you could put it in a washing machine. Oh no. No. You got to scrub, you got to put it in a basin, you got to soak it down for a couple hours or even overnight, and then you get the soap and so on and you scrub, you get a scrubbing board and you have to scrub with a brush, or according to the story, Malami used corn husk. You know, I don't know what is corn husk, I can't imagine, but yeah. Anyway, she came around balancing her clothes and the customers discovered the dirt under the collars, and one person had a merino that was torn, and the owner's wife, what's she gonna do with this? This thing like a fishnet now, catch fish in the river? The thing was so holy like a fishnet. After Malami destroyed it, but Malami said no, I'm not paying for it, no. Malami was unperturbed. When I was in second form, this word unperturbed really tickled me. It was a big word and I loved it. She was unperturbed. And you should hear Miss Fenella Abrams say this. Malami was unperturbed. I love this word. In fact, she was brazen enough, as one villager put it, to announce that she was raising her prices. She said, as you know, we are fighting a war. We are fighting a war. And the prices of things have gone up. So from now on, I will charge more to do up the clothes. Long time, a shirt was 12 cents. Now, it has to be 18 cents. Long time, a skirt was 18 cents. Now, it has to be shilling. Now we're talking about shilling and so on. We're talking about British money because the Caribbean and Guyana used to use that kind of money. We were British, you know. And so that's what she was saying. This is what you call price gouging. Malami, bare face. But she went from hut to hut. Talking about hut to hut, Salvan lets us see the social status of these people. They were poor, living in a hut. It wasn't a house. He didn't say house. He didn't even say cottage. He said hut. Hut to hut. A hut is a house, but it's a certain kind of house. It's low income, very low income. So Malami is in there price gouging poor people like herself. So the word spread fast and furiously. People were very unhappy. It went fast. So they said, neighbor, you hear? Hear what? Malami raising your prices. She charge you more for the clothes now. But what? Can you imagine that? Look at how careless she get in. She not even bothering to sew up the collar and the tear and put back the button. But he said, yes, it's true. I only wish we had another washer because she no good. Listen. You know village life, they like to go over the fence and start talk to the neighbor. Hey girl, hey, you hear son? What girl? You stop, you talk. Called the spit press. You know, when I go back to the village, there's a rhythm to village. It is something else. If you stay at Buxton Village, I don't know about your village, I can bet you can hear a low-grade abusing going on. It's always a low-grade abusing going on. Somebody abusing somebody. Somebody throwing hint to somebody. It's a thing going on. So I imagine this is what was happening with Malami in her village. And the people were saying, well, one say, you know what? She's the only one. Is why she going on so? Why she going on so? One I say, man, I can go and try it for myself. I can wash my clothes myself. I ain't got time for she. I'm going to do it in the evening when I have time. The woman was mad or something. So they were really disgruntled. And she says, wars, what she talking about? What kind of war she talking about? Apparently the people didn't know they get war, but she make up this war. Or even if there was one, she was capitalizing on it. Soon a delegation of housewives went to Malami. I don't know what is going to happen in my village. They would have been cussing she out. But these are diplomatic people. They had some class. So they took a delegation and visited her hut. And she lived in a broken down hut under a mango tree. And there she lived. So Malami was of low social status with low means of income. Right? But she had established herself in her trade to be the superior person. But here she wasn't delivering. All right. They had an argument. The thing lasted for 2 hours. To tell you about the low-grade abusing, but this was a full-on abusing and quarreling and complaining. The stories say, at the end of that, people been shaking their fists and pointing and going on. And yes, you Malami, it's where you think at all. You think money grow up on a tree. Yes, you think you want more money. What you do with this low class work? I could do better than this. And where you going on? So, cussing out. That's what we got abuse. And Malami flatly told them what they could do with their nasty clothes. If they didn't like your terms, they're going to put it where the sun don't shine. Yes, Malami, that ain't easy, no? She give them what they need. She lost 5 customers the following week, and others were forced to put up with her conditions. And Malami smiled to herself as she went about her washing. Now, when I looked at this story, I thought to myself, Malami must have been an older woman. I want to think so. With the ma, it could be honorific. And if she were an older woman, I begin to think of the labor that older women do, because when I knew people who washed in the village, they weren't young people who were washing, they were older people who passed retirement age. So there's something about the labor among older people. So was it because she was getting complacent or lacking in her performance because of age? What was that about? Or just plain old arrogance and greed? Left for you to decide. So Malami smiled and went about her business. But while she was having her own way with the villagers, the plight reached the neighboring hamlet called Donkey City. And another aged Negro woman named Maprokop migrated to Sanssouci with the hope of taking over Malami's business. So it is true, Malami was aged. I had never thought about age and work and older people. They can do the job, they can establish businesses, but can they maintain? I can say it's yes and no. Yes, because they could give some young people a run for the money. But when they're beginning to age and fall back, how does society treat them? And how do they respond? Yes, ageism is a real thing. It's a real phenomenon in working culture. And sometimes women get the brunt of that. So, what are your thoughts on Malami and Maprokop so far? Put it in the comments. One day, Maprokop arrived. She was greeted with shouts and smiles, and though people were cautious not to commit too early, they were happy that she was there, and they feared a little bit that she would turn out to be a second Malami. But Maprokop was a clever woman. The first day, she put out a notice in a village shop saying that she was willing to take in laundry at pre-war prices. So there was really a war. You see what Ma Prokop did? She undercut Malami. Business, cutthroat right away. I used to wonder, when I was a child, going to Bladen Hall Multilateral School, these stink bugs or something else. Yes, you will see them on my curtain and stuff. They're harmless. I used to see, let's just say a lady named Data selling sugar cake and Polari and Bara and Chana and whatever. And right next to her would be a new girl who just married somebody and came there. And she's now going to have a little stall. And what's she going to sell? The very same thing. And next thing you know, cussing start. Because they say she jealous the people and she go and open the same thing. I noticed that with gas stations. Sometimes they have 4 gas stations at a 4 corner. They all selling the same gas, you know. And I used to say, what's with this? But I soon realized it's competition. Competition and demand and people having choices. So Ma Prokop came and she was the choice. But she was smart. So the first day she put up a notice in the shop and said she was going to do pre-war prices. And she said she was an experienced washer from Donkey City. Let me tell you, Malami was good at Sans Souci. Soft, alliterative place. But Donkey City? When you come from Donkey City with a real deal, I imagine Ma Prokop is a really strong woman. Yes. And she was out to give complete satisfaction to one and all. Oh, she went all out. She went all out. It was a long notice that she wrote, and the spelling was bad. And it wasn't worded exactly that way. But 3 people, you know them 3 people who going to say what they think you the mean for say? So you could say it all kind of bad and all kind of wrong up, but then get 3 people, or they get some people who going to go and talk for you and fix you for the other people. So that's what they do. They go and talk and say what she really did mean for say, because they saw it. And so everybody got to know that Ma Prokop was here to do business and take over from Malami. When Malami heard it, she waddled over to the shop with she own piece of paper. She carried cardboard. She ain't just right. She get the village painter for right. She employed help. She get the village painter for right for she. We know if she can read and write good. We know what Ma Prokop. We know what she hire somebody else. You see, she coming in, slide. She garnering, she forces, right? And this village painter wrote the words in red. She set it out there. She calling for war, fire. Red is a powerful color. War, blood, fight, all of that. Stating that she was negotiating with a firm in the city for a new type of washing machine which could make old clothes new. Now Malami ain't just fight back. She go and she decide to cite technology. She wasn't just gonna settle for the old scrubbing board and wash basin. No, she gonna bring it to Ma Prokop and say, guess what? I gonna come with washing machine. Let me see. But guess what? The people knew that there was no electricity in Sans Souci. And it was a lie. Right? But for the first time, Malami was afraid of losing her trade. So she had a reckoning, a moment of reckoning. What happens when people become fearful? Huh? What happens? So that Saturday, she made the rounds to get her washing, and she did not even get one vest. Not one. This lady who used to do for pre-war, they now abandon she in toto because she's slacking. They're right, they're wrong. Who y'all there for? Malami side or Prokop side? Y'all talk the thing. So, when she walking down the street, a big Joe people are laugh. Even the children take she make I pass. Wash up, wash up. And if it was village, I'm going to say, wash up, Malami, are you? They got to identify you. Then I say, are you? So that would be the one which is shame eventually. If Malami saw Ma Prokop walking down the road, she waddled to the other side and turned her head as if she was smelling something bad. Yes, and she looked on the intruder as a hated enemy and thought up means of recovering her trade and at the same time putting Ma Prokop to such shame that she would go back to Donkey City in a hurry. So she just didn't want to get back some of her business. She was going to damage her and run out the village. At first, she started spreading lies. So when fear comes, lies come after, according to Selvon's story. Life imitates art, or art imitates life. You decide. She go, you know, that washerwoman, she's a nasty woman. She nasty. I ain't a kaya close by she. She proper nasty. She got jonjo. Them now is bad people. She don't even rinse the clothes. And look at she. You see she there? She look proper sickly. Oh, she's sickly so. I think for she, you get disease from she. You get cocoa bear, jonjo, elephantitis, polio. All them things they must say. Poor Ma Prokop, the lies. So first she didn't do her job. Then she get vexed. She tell a lie, and the lie begin to get bigger. She attacked the person of Ma Prokop. That's called assault. Yeah. A libel, no? A libel. You tell lie on people. A libel? I think so. Anyway, but Prokop's actions put the whole village at ease and put her on her side. She even spent out the little money that she had saved in Donkey City to help out. She worked late at night, sewing on buttons, mending clothes, and so on. She made it a business to be friendly, especially, and to be kind to children, buying sweets for them and telling them stories. She endeared herself to the younger people. And Malami now started a malicious rumor that Ma Prokop was an Obia woman who had changed herself into a blood-sucking animal at night. Oh my goodness. So now she gone, you know, one of the ways you dehumanize people is to compare them to animals or to liken them to non-human. So if they are non-human, then you treat them as non-human. You see what this thing doing? This thing even mirrors what happens in today's society with prejudice and stereotypes. To hurt a people or to subjugate a people, you have to make them non-human and imbue them with traits that are undesirable, like liars and nasty and so on. So she said she would suck at night. So one night, first of all, the people began to get suspicious because they were suspicious people, and talk like that just need that, like fire and gasoline. They believe in omens and evil spirits, and they became very uneasy and started to take on this rumor. One night, a wounded animal ran into the backyard of somebody and left a trail of blood. Malami was on Front Street saying, I tell y'all about that Prokop. She working overnight. Yes, she been working last night. Look what she do. She been sucking. She been working Obia. We don't want no Obia body here. And so on. People began to imagine things because you just don't drop these things innocently. There are people with very active minds and people with certain kind of mindsets. And when the field is right for it, it will grow. So night noises were attributed to evil spirit, and all of them went back to Ma Prokop. There was an air of uneasiness wherever she went, and quick to see the advantage, Malami pressed home the fact that the new washer was unusually fond of children, and that the ones that were the favorites of Obia people is children. This part I didn't get as a child. She did more than talk. One night, she poured a gallon of poison at the roots of a silk cotton tree in the center of the village, the Kumaka tree. And the next day, she divined that as a result, she see far, she proclaimed, she prophesied that Ma Prokop, because of her evil deeds, this tree was going to die within a week. And she began to make a study of black magic. She began to make a study of black magic. Now, instead of education herself for how she can get back to business, she started study, them other thing. To set the village against Ma Prokop. She collected an odd set of liquids and bones and other paraphernalia and cleared her hut of all mirrors and objects and sign of the cross. So she get all these thingamajingy, vumdi things. Things came to a head when the silk cotton tree just up and died. It just withered up, and Malami had predicted that, and within 2 weeks there was nothing left but a skeleton. The village women got together to discuss the situation. It happened just as Malami said. It looked like Ma Prokop is really an Obia woman. We have to put you to the test. We got to get a mirror, let you look inside and make the sign of a cross over her head. And if she can't really watch it, she's an Obia woman indeed. She can't stand it at all. Yes. So, Ma Prokop, in the meantime, was well aware of what was going on in the village. What is this poor woman supposed to do? How do you prove a negative? How do you prove a negative? For me, I would just not even respond, because to respond is to give it fuel, Because now you get them say, he say, she say, bring and carry. Spread like a black feather. Ma Prokop in the meantime was aware. She did nothing except one morning, she went to Donkey City and came back with a parcel under her arm and a small smile on her lips. This part had eluded me when I was a child. I couldn't understand what was going on. 2 days later, mind you, she went to Donkey City. 2 days later, all hell broke loose. Hot sunshiny morning, a group of housewives came to fend and prove in Ma Prokop yard. They come there, and she was hanging out the laundry on the makeshift line between two mango trees. Malami was not there. Mind you, she sent she peeps. And while they were gathering, she had been telling them exactly what to do. So she gave them their instructions. Look at your house. I bet you wouldn't see any mirrors. And I bet you're going to find a lot of things, funny things in shows like bone and board feather and bottles and skeleton. Here, you won't find that in shows. She's a Obia woman. For Malami had done what she thought would be the last damn thing. She had sneaked into Ma Prokop's house. Yeah, she trespassed in. And hidden all the stuff she claimed that Ma Prokop had, that she had been using to practice her own Obia to get rid of Ma Prokop. She removed the only mirror she could see in the room and the small crucifix at the head of the bed. She, Lambi, take it out. Ma Prokop hung up the pair of khaki pants and turned to face the woman. They got to the point right away. Ma Prokop, said the leader, we hear you is the one who's walking Obia in this village and causing evil spirit to walk here at night. What nonsense you talking about? Said Prokop with her hands on the hip. She was looking very outraged. Well, anyway, we're going to search your house. Then get the temerity for going to a woman's house. Them think them a FBI. Yes. Well, they left her standing there and went into her hut. A minute later, bottle fly out, bone fly out, feather fly out. I think I run. Some of hurtle through the windows. I think Ma Prokop mouth must have been dropped to the ground. It's true, they say. It's true. She walking over here, look at the things we find in her room. Ma Prokop quickly recovered at this unexpected development. I don't know if it was unexpected. I don't know what Ma Prokop had in mind. Maybe she had a plan that she was going to put in place, but they catch she unaware, right? They catch she unaware. She said, all these things you see here, she's waving on the ground, they don't belong to me, I swear. She made the sign of the cross and she kissed it to the God that me and they belong to Malami. She is the one who put it there. She's so spiteful, so that came to this village and take away her business. Yes, she is the one. And the women, some of them get conscience and they say, Mama, yeah, it's true, no, Mama, but look, she get it born. No, she's a good woman. They begin to debate and murmur. Then suddenly one of them come and take the mirror and shove it in Ma Prokop's face. Child, Ma Prokop the get on she little hair tie. She just do so and she fix her hair tie so like a boss chick. Yes, in the mirror. The people then say, and she said, thank you too. The people then say, what? It's for going on the mouth open. And then Ma Prokop take the mirror and smash it on the ground. Somebody said, that is a true test, you know. She passed the test. If she was an Obra woman, she could have never looked in the mirror. Malami must be telling lie. Ma Prokop is not guilty. So, Ma Prokop caught the wind of the turning tide and she capitalized on it. She said, listen, let's go over to Malami's house and give her the same test with mirror and a cross. I have just what I need hidden away inside the house. Just give me a chance. So Ma Prokop had she thing in she back pocket. So when Malami went and checked, she never found the mirror and so on. So now Ma Prokop gets she ammunition and she lead the charge with the same people. You see, you just have to be careful. When you give them a service and people like what you're doing, hallelujah, hallelujah, like Palm Sunday. They were all for Ma Prokop. But the minute they get a whiff that something might be off, even lies, you know, that she walking over with children, they turn and now they say, crucify him. Yeah. They must say, Hosanna one day. Give us the Christ. Next day, give us Barabbas. Yeah. Human nature is like that, fickle as the day. Anyway, Ma Prokop catch herself and she took to leading straight to Malami house. Notice, she's a woman about business. She and hide and stay behind like Malami. She led the charge. She was going to be in her boss self. And she led the charge. She said, you. She went there, you Malami. Hey, she's a village woman proper. You. You fooling people. Saying I is the one who's walking over here. When it's you all the time. Come out here in this yard. And let me see you. Come out here. In village, they're going to say, if you got more seed than Balanje, come out here. Let me see. Malami ain't take left. She come charging out the house like a bull ram. She come charging out the house like a bull. Puffing, I assume. What you mean by keeping so much noise in me yard? She tried to keep a steady face, but she knew something had gone wrong because the same ones have been leading she the other day, as she been leading, now they're behind Ma Prokop, a face she. She tried to keep the steady face. Ma Prokop said, look at this mirror. We have a mirror and a cross. You look here. And she loosened the parcel and took out a mirror. Full in Malami's face, at the same time lifting the cross above her head. This is the part that got me. As a child like this went over my head. No one heard the strange words. Ma Prokop was fiercely whispering and the glint in her eye. But everyone saw Malami cower in fear and a look of extreme terror come into her face. She began to shake as if she got ague. Fever. Then clasping her hands at her head, she turned and ran shrieking in the hut. People, who is Ma Prokop? What was she whispering? I studying this thing. Was it a threat? Was it that she's actually a practicing Obia woman of a higher order? What is it? How did she know to anticipate bringing this mirror and this cross? Did she go to Donkey City Obia man who got better Obia than Malami? What is it? What y'all think? You know, another thought occurred to me. In the Bible, they said this woman who was adulterous had been brought before Jesus and they said, look, she been committing adultery. They didn't bring no man, you know. Jesus bent down in the dirt and he write. Nobody knows what he wrote. And they all ran away. Somebody said they see their own sins. And then he tell them, if you got no sin, cast the first stone. So I don't know if Malami, when she looked in the mirror, she saw herself. But the whispering is quite something. Whispers are kinds of moves or literary elements that tell you to listen a little bit more. as to what else is being said. What do you think the whispering mean? What did she say? Ma Prokop turned to the frightened villagers, saying, "Nothing to worry about." Now she's taken full court. Nothing to worry about. She had an air and a tone of authority as she wrapped the mirror and cross back in the parcel in front of them. These two symbols, she wrapped them. A mirror that reflects our visage, and the cross, which is a religious symbol, she wrapped them in front of them. You will never have any obia here as long as I stay in the village. Was she a Christian? Did she pray? Did the obia lady couldn't withstand the prayer? I don't know, but y'all tell me. The next morning, Ma Prokop stood by her hut watching Malami take the road to Donkey City. She's going to a hard place. I assume Donkey City is a tough place. With all her belongings wrapped in a sheet which she slung over her shoulder. Imagine her going boop, 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 boop. Hunched over maybe. As she looked back for the last glimpse of Sanssouci, she caught a sight of Ma Prokop leaning on the fence, watching her go. With a yell of terror, she waddled away, casting a long shadow in the morning sun. What do y'all think? This is quite a trip down memory lane. The Washerwoman by Samuel Selvon. Put your 2 bits and let me know. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe wherever you are, and let's join the family. This is What the Story Say, and we're going to talk later. Y'all are good.